of these things that we are trying to impound in people's lifestyle. Some of us are still walking. The stretch is too long to reach where everybody else is. Can we wait for others by coming up with things that work for all Kenyans, whether rich or poor, especially education, which is supposed to be like how we force these children to put on uniform. You can't tell who is poor or who is rich. So education should also be like that. All the poor, all the rich to get exactly the same, so that we can get a doctor from either family, because we will need to equalize or levelize the ground for these children. Thank you.
Member for Nandi Hills.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I want to appreciate the mover of this motion for bringing it for us to be able to discuss this matter that I had a lot of concerns indeed, because from the onset, CBC had problems in itself from 2017, as someone had insinuated. In fact, the cabinet secretary at the time probably even lost her job because of questioning some of the implementation of that program. And later on, it was pushed down the throats of all Kenyans that this program has to run. The program is very expensive. That is no-brainer. The reality is what is required for children when they are going to school, the pupils, and what they are being demanded to be brought to school in itself, compared to 844, which was more structured and organized, has thrown many parents into poverty rather than helping us, that the government is able to provide primary education that is very affordable. Looking at it, the confusion that has come all through was even made worse by what Honorable Peter Kaluma has captured the other day when the junior secondary school students were, they did the exam, the Kenya Primary Education Assessment. When the results were out, about 1.2 million students passed, and up to now, about 200,000 have not been able to report. And even that said, Madam Speaker, of the 1.2, there was confusion as to, are they going to go to a secondary school, or are they going to go to the previous schools that they were in? The confusion was all over. The whole thing was not structured. Every day, it's like we are doing an experiment of the children of this country, which should not be the case. If we are changing an education system, it has to be well organized. There must have been a proper consultation on all the actors in the sector. But what happened at that time? As it were, many people, as I said, including Sosian and the rest, suffered big time. Indeed, when it was realized that there would be need for schools, the government, for classrooms, the government at some point gave 9 billion for the building of the 10,000 classrooms, something that was not even well structured and planned. And then at the same time, they did not even plan the issue of the labs, the workshops, the dormitories, and such kind of things. So as it were, even now, what even pains me the most is the primary schools or the junior secondary schools that the children now are going to, some of them are consolidated. That you find our desire in the past to have primary schools close to where children come from. Right now, some are being forced to walk up to 10 kilometers, taking us back from where we came from. Again, Madam Speaker, something very critical is the issue of the human resource. The teachers who, as we speak, most of them were not well trained on this particular program. At the initial time, the British Council are the one who ran the program. Thereafter, there were TOTs that had been trained to come and train these teachers. And most of them, these TOTs by themselves, would even, as they are doing their training, would say they don't even understand most of the things that they were being pushed, or, there was a speed of this training to have happened. So the whole training aspect of even those who are passing knowledge of the junior secondary to the pupils, they are not trained. And this is very critical. How do we get fully baked students who do not have teachers who have been well baked by themselves? It is even worse to see two teachers handling a class of over 100 students. Worse of still is that there is no curriculum design as we speak, so to say, the syllabus that is well structured. It is even worse off that in most schools across the country, you find that only one subject books have been delivered of the 13 subjects that are being, that are being taught in these schools. Equally, part of the things they were talking about the 844 is that the 844 was burdening students a lot of subjects, only to come and realize that in this one that we have now, the CBC, it has 23 electable subjects, and 13 are to be chosen. So essentially, there is a lot of confusion in the running of this program. There is no, we are not even sure now, Madam Speaker, that when we are done with the junior secondary, they say now we are going to go to the senior secondary. If I ask any member here or any leader, it is not clear to anybody what happens thereafter. Even the university lecturers have not been trained on this.
The time is up. Honorable Carol